sure
Is that 50%?
Well, the stats for
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
And a pleasant good evening to you, everybody. Welcome to the University of Arizona Sitton Field for exciting college lacrosse. The Arizona Wildcats are on the air on APN Sports, and tonight they'll be taking on the Sonoma State Seawolves. And alongside the Hall of Famer, Mickey Miles Felton, I'm Jeff Lowry. So glad you could join us for today's game. And Mickey, obviously Arizona has struggled. They've been playing shorthanded. They're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. But this is a game in which they really want to try to get things back on target and set their sights on a very important game Saturday against San Diego State, an interdivisional game.
Yeah, well, Jeff, thanks for having me back, especially after you listened to me last week. So I appreciate being here in Sitton Field on the campus here. It's beautiful. The weather is great for those of you that are back east enjoying the snow. Make some snowballs for me. Yeah, the game is actually the game's important for both teams because they're both not having a winning record and they need to get back on the winning track. And as you say, the game tonight is not quite as important for Arizona, but next Saturday's game is the big game for them against San Diego State. And we're getting ready here. I don't know if the players are all ready for the national anthem, but I guess the PA system's not.
Well, we'll take a quick break here as today's game is being brought to you by Casino Mine Ranch and their outstanding wines. We'll be back in just a moment.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
Well, the playing of our national anthem here from Sitton Field. We're getting set for some college lacrosse action. Arizona, led by head coach Matt Blamey, Christian Schaefer, Dustin Lyons. They come out of the Southwestern Lacrosse Conference, 2-5 by way of record, but they are 1-0 in division play, tied with the second-ranked team in the country, the Grand Canyon Antelopes. They're coming off an 11-5 loss at the hands of Oklahoma. That was in Lucas, Texas last week. Their next game, a big one against San Diego State. Sonoma State coming in. They're the Seawolves. Panchito Ojeda in his fifth year, formerly a head coach at Marquette. James Croft, Steve Johnson, the two assistant coaches, offense and defensive coordinators, respectively. 3 games under the 500 mark, but 1-1 in the Western Collegiate Lacrosse League play. But they've been outscored 113-86.
Yeah, I think we're going to start off with a after, of course, the typical face-offs here with the two teams. But I think we have some pretty good face-off guys out here. Of course, we know that that we have our own, Mr. Callahan, and but their face-off guy is, according to their records, well, I won't tell you what their record is because it can't be right. But Kiernan Farah is their face-off guy, and he wears number 32. And we're about ready to go. Referees' instructions have been given to the players. They give them an idea of how they're going to call the game and things that individually that they like to look, that they watch out for.
So Ben Callahan will be going up against Kiernan Farah, the freshman and a sophomore going at it. Arizona will have Huber, Kerrigan, and Lloyd at attack. 2 attackmen now playing at the midfield position. Jeff Howard and Peyton Boyd moving to that position. Shane Crownhart, a local product. Casey Merriman, the outstanding defender. Barry Baker, who had a great game on APN last time. And Facenda round out the defense with Wyatt Hill in goal for Arizona. We're just underway. We're trying to figure out who wants this opening face-off, and it belongs to the visiting Sonoma team, and this game is underway.
You know, when we used to play the Sonoma team, they weren't called the Seawolves. They were called the Cossacks, and much more threatening than a Seawolf, huh? I don't even know what a Seawolf is.
I don't think a Seawolf exists. There's a flag down on the play already. I didn't hear a whistle. And we're going to get a cross-check, and this is going to go against the visiting team, much to the disliking of team captain Cameron Cruz on the far side.
Yeah, let's see if we can see who it was on. I didn't see it either. It was in the middle of that scrum over there that at the beginning, the first face-off.
So we're just underway. Sonoma State coming off a loss 13-4 at the hands of GCU. They had trailed in that game 4-2. So Boyd is out leading the charge, number 47, with the right hand, dominant hand. Actually, Thomas Chandler gets the start here for the Wildcats.
This is his first start.
Of course, he came in when face-off, get-off, Ben Callahan left the game.
Thomas is another California guy. He's from Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills, California.
Well, an unsettled ball. Let's see if Howard can corral it. He does, and he'll get it up to Shane. The high pipe, looking down, looking. He's got the free hand. Now gives it off on the angle. And a beautiful save that time by the freshman goalie, Jackson Feinstein. He has saved 50% of shots on goal so far, and we're scoreless a minute and a half into the game.
Yeah, they have two freshman goalies, which works well for their future. And when I spoke to Coach Ojeda this afternoon, he didn't know who was going to be starting, and I guess you just get that feeling when you get out on the field. And he went with Feinstein.
Well, the guy you may want to watch for on their team, number 1, Angelo Lago-Marcino. He is their leading scorer. He'll be working goal line extended, maybe out of X at times. He's right out in front of the crease. Good, strong defense there by Arizona, led by Daniel Rodriguez, the versatile Daniel Rodriguez. 2 minutes into the contest, a scoreless tie. Arizona in the all-white. Sonoma State. We'll tell you where they're from here in a moment. Here's the shot over the top, and it's good.
And I'm not going to say that's a yowzer, though.
Well, the first score of the game belongs to Hayden Dahl. He scores with 12:48 left to go here in the opening quarter, and Sonoma draws first blood and leads it 1-0.
And we should repeat that Wyatt Hill is in the cage for Arizona.
Who had an outstanding career at Chaparral High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is our second face-off. Sonoma State won the first one. Well, if you're wondering where Sonoma State, it is just south of Santa Rosa, California, north of Napa.
Yeah, when you need a drink, you just go up there, and they'll hook you up with the Sonoma wine.
And it's absolutely beautiful country. Of course, they were ravished by all those fires, a few months ago. But, I know a lot of people from that area, and it is an absolutely gorgeous area.
By the way, number 18 is Brett Tridy, who hasn't been playing for a few weeks, another injured player, but he's out on the green grass today.
Well, with the amount of injuries that Coach Blamey has had to endure before the road trip, it's going to give some guys a chance to get some playing time off the bench, and hopefully Matt Blamey can catch some lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I hope so. Probably the biggest loss over the weekend there was Ryan Falbo. Ryan is he's a ground ball machine for one of the middies, and also he's one of the team leaders. He's a very excited kid and happy to be out here.
Yeah.
And it's killing him. I talked to him a few minutes ago. He's killing him that he can't be out on the field today.
And the sophomore James Huber out of Illinois is pretty much taking his position out there offensively for Matt Blamey and the Wildcats, who trail it 1-0. 3.5 minutes into the contest.
Yeah, and it says the Hubers are from Illinois, but his dad is here, and his dad has moved to Chandler. He's coming for the sun.
Approaching the 11-minute mark, and here is Lago-Marcino, the big weapon on their offense.
Yeah.
Over to Dahl, who had the first score of the game, 1-0 Sonoma State here in the first. And this is going to be an unforced turnover. Tovry was unable to handle the ball, and that'll turn it back over to the Cats. Exton Bassett, who did not get the start defensively, is now in there, number 6. And Merriman, who gets the lead pass quickly up to Boyd on the clear.
Exton had to wait for his dad and his brother to get here before he was allowed on the field.
Yeah. Loose ball picked up That's a nice ground ball there by the long stick defender, Jared Bear. Bear, right down the middle, will pull the trigger, and he leaves it high and wide to the left.
That'll be goalie ball. Coming out white.
Well, it was a good challenge. We got a whistle and a timeout, Sonoma, with 10 minutes and 27 seconds left to go here. And a 1-0 lead. We're going to keep it right here, Coach.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. You mentioned him, number 1, Angelo Largo Marcino. That's not an easy name for me.
Yes.
But especially coming from Brooklyn. And then I hear Largo, and I think Largo, you know who I think of, the big man, the president of the country, Mar-a-Lago.
But he's Lago, though.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a Mar-a-Lago somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, he's had a great career there. He's a junior.
Mm-hmm.
He's leading them in scoring right now with 28 points, 21 goals, 7 assists. But he had a good year. Last year he had 41 points, 29 goals, and 12 assists. And the year before, as a freshman, he had 16 goals and 24 assists. So he's been with the program now, and he's been a major factor. He's a nice-sized young man, too. He's 6'2", 180. I thought he was going to be playing attack, but I guess he's playing midfield.
Well, and he's a local product of Sonoma State, just down the road, Petaluma, California. So the two teams heading back out onto the field, a 1-0 lead at the 12:48 mark by number 4 of the Sonoma State Seawolves, Hayden Dahl. He's just a freshman.
Yeah, I have a long history with Sonoma. As you may have seen before the game, coaches came over. They wanted to take a picture with me. I told them to send me a couple of 8x10 glossies, and we'd be good.
All right, now Merriman looking for the best outlet here. Gets it across to Bassett. Bassett, a local product, at least here in Arizona, played for Frankie Armenta and the Gilbert Tigers. So a good clear, and here's Jeff Howard. He's one of the Wizards with the wand for this Cats lacrosse team, who trails it 1-0 as we approach minute number 6 here in quarter number 1.
Yeah, last time we saw Jeff Howard, he was playing attack. Now he's playing midfield. So it's kind of interesting for him. It's just a reflex of the condition of the athletes on the Wildcats.
Watch for Colton Lloyd, wide open over here on the wing. And Huber didn't pick him up right away. Might have had a high percentage shot there. Crownhart, good look inside, and a good stick there, Coach, by Ryan Hampton. He broke that one up, number 16 for Sonoma.
Yeah, they got some good defense. They're a nice young team. That's their future, even though their record right now is 3-6. But they still have 6 more games, including tonight, to rectify that a little bit. And you got a timeout right now. I'm not sure who called it. I'm busy talking. Do you know who called that timeout?
It was Arizona calling their first timeout. So with that, we will take a break here on APN Sports and our exciting coverage of Arizona lacrosse.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated number 1 in sports videography. Call today.
All right, welcome back here to Sitton Field on the campus of the University of Arizona. A 1-0 lead here for visiting Sonoma State. The Seawolves, they were the 2002 MCLA national champions. And, of course, if you're wondering who has won the most championships at the national level, it is
Colorado State.
Yes, sir. They have won 6.
They've won 6. We've been to the national championship 6 times since it started. We were there first in 1997, and we were the number 1 seed there. And we had some interesting games. We beat Auburn 20-2, and then we got killed by BYU.
And BYU's won 1 or 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think they've maybe won 4. They're always up there. They're the only team in the MCLA that has been to the final championships all 20 years now. 21 years.
Just inside of 9 minutes left to play here. 1-0 lead Sonoma. They're in the dark tops, white shorts. And now back at attack is Boyd, and it paid off, and he finds James Huber for the score at the 8:43 mark.
Yeah, I'm sure that I can't say yowza, but I'm sure that Mr. Huber is saying yowza. What do you think?
Wildcats goal scored by number 42, James Huber.
So Huber with the goal, and the assist goes to Peyton Boyd, who moved back to his typical attack position.
Yep, Peyton's from Palo Verde High School in Las Vegas, Nevada.
So a 1-1 tie with 8:43 left to go here in the opening quarter of play. Arizona Wildcat lacrosse on Arizona's leader in sports video coverage, APN Sports. A face-off win for the Cats. So Callahan getting the job done, and quickly over to Brett Trudy. One of the newer players on this team, Quinn Kerrigan. Well, I thought played well in that game that we covered against Boston College.
He did. He was a nice addition, to the team, because he was one of these guys that got more playing time because of injuries.
Well, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us on Arizona Lacrosse YouTube.
I'll give you an estimate of the crowd in a little while. They're pouring in.
A near capacity crowd here at Sitton Field. Arizona trying to take their first lead of the contest, 7:40 on the clock. Looking, Huber. Can he get 2 in a row? Now Arizona in a slow-down offense here. And get a shot clock coming up here soon.
They may get that soon. You're right. And we'll explain what that means when that happens.
You got Lloyd to the near side. And he starts to dodge, coming in from the wing. See if he can free those hands. He's been one of their top scorers this year, second in points.
Good look,
inside
and a goal.
the Boyd, and he's found the promised land.
That was Boyd again. So he does it with a long stick. He does it with a short stick.
Assisted by number 42, James Huber.
And Huber gets back on the scoring sheet with an assist. So he's 1-1 out of the 2 goals that we have.
Well, it's like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, here comes see, the bus is coming in. People are coming in right now. It's going to be nuts here in a little while.
2-1 is the score on this Monday night. Coach's worst night in your 30-plus years here. You hated to play on Monday nights.
I did. I never liked the school days where my guys were coming out during the school day, and they weren't really prepared to play because they were in class, and the other team is sitting here all day working out on our field, and the next thing you know, it's just not a good day for me. Tuesday's my favorite day. It's as far as I can get from Monday.
Well, Sonoma State had that face-off win, but then immediately lost it, and I don't know how in the world Ryan Hampton wasn't called for a slash that time. And now a trip from behind, and apparently the whistles are in the hip pocket of these officials.
I thought they might give a little push there, but since it was going to be our ball, maybe they left it.
I got to give Mr. Addick, who went into the Arizona High School Hall of Fame last year, along with Todd McRobbie and Dave Henning. And
that's the Arizona State Hall of Fame, I believe.
Well, it was the high school. Well, for the high school, for their contributions. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, had to give him a little razzing.
Yeah, Steve. I know Steve when he was a player at ASU. He hasn't made a good call against Arizona in 35 years, though. As soon as I see him, the rash comes out of my arms. Oh, my God, what's going to happen now?
2-1 Arizona. 6-minute mark here, quarter number 1. Well, you'd like to see Arizona with a good, strong showing here going into what's going to be a very important San Diego State game on Saturday. Shot left-handed. I thought somebody lost some equipment over there. That shot was taken by Quinn Kerrigan, dominant left, Boulder, Colorado native.
I think Rich Maccabee was the first guy that went into the Hall of Fame there in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, Rich, of course, his son played at Chaparral. Was a great player, great Arizona lacrosse player.
And then he went to Loyola in Maryland.
Jason Hill is in there, chopping out and coming up with a turnover, the captain, the senior, Cameron Cruz. Look at Cruz coming out in transition, wants to go all the way, and now we'll pull it back. And Sonoma will settle in. And, Coach, this is the first time they've settled in on offense since the start of the game.
Well, they're changing players, getting the right guys on the offense, getting their offense where they want it.
Well, here's Largo Marcino against Merriman in X. Boy, that's a great matchup. A great offensive player, a great defensive player in Casey Merriman.
So he must be playing a little of both then, both attack and midfield.
Here comes the dodge out of X. Luke Dangler, we didn't see, I don't think we saw him in that Boston College game. Shot, and it was challenged. Piombo.
That's going to be over and back. That's a new rule that was put in a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, maybe 3, where it's very similar to the basketball rule. Once you bring the ball over the midfield line, you can't get it back if you lose possession. If it's thrown back there by a defensive player, that's okay. One thing. But once the offense throws it back over the midfield line, it's change of possession.
Okay, Arizona, good look. Boy,
oh, yeah!
One-timer, and he has scored for the second time in his 3rd point of the day, and it's official.
Scored by number 47, Peyton Boy. Jeff Howard with the assist, making him fall down, baby.
Well, it's the largest lead of the game at 3-1, and credit Jeff Howard on the assist.
Jeff Howard, he's kind of roaming around. I mean, he was behind the cage then. Typically, you don't see too many middies back there. But if you are accustomed to playing attack and having a long stick on you, and then you're playing midi and you take a short stick behind, he's lost back there. He's not familiar, and he doesn't have a long stick to help him out. So that worked out pretty good.
Well, we're tied at 2 on face-off wins. Sonoma had it. And look at Callahan with the one-handed grab. Outstanding job in face-off X. And Ben Callahan, the former Desert Vista Thunder who played for, well, I'll tell you, one of the more notable guys in our state, and Dan Lannon, who played collegiately at Syracuse. And a great program. He was a part of that championships team 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, Dan's been out here a long time. He's a good friend, and he has been very instrumental in picking things up, not only at Desert Vista, but for the whole Arizona Lacrosse League, the high school league.
Absolutely, and he is the president of the Arizona Lacrosse League. And if you're interested in watching some of the big matchups this year, the Arizona Lacrosse League, you can go to APN Video YouTube page, or you can go to the ArizonaLacrosseLeague.com and watch our game of the week. A lot of fun.
Absolutely.
In fact, we'll be down here at the Old Pueblo in Tucson, Sal Point, and Notre Dame. That'll be one of our feature games in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Sal Point had a nice game the other night. They had a charity game, and they had a nice crowd there. And they got a nice win. That was Friday night.
Huber who has already scored 2 points. That's an outstanding job. Good stick skills there, and the takeaway by Jared Bear, the sophomore defender out of Granite Bay, California.
Yeah, it was a nice pickup on the ground ball. And instead of trying to go forward and run through everybody, he kind of took it back a little bit, which is a good thing to do.
So Joey Piombo, good speed, good quickness, with an outstanding clear. Sonoma has not scored since the 12:48 mark. We're going on 10 minutes since they have found the back of the cage. Now they're going to make get Hayden Dahl in there, one of their top players.
He scored the first goal in the game.
3-1 Arizona, a minute and a half left to go here in the first.
Kind of a boisterous crowd here tonight, huh?
Somebody said put him in the spin cycle. What in the world does that mean? Lago Marcino, first time we've seen him even attempt a dodge. Pass is high, good look, but Dahl left it wide to the right of the goal.
And it's going to be Arizona ball. They weren't backing up the cage. I'm sure a lot of people know by now, but for those of you who don't, on a shot on goal, or towards the goal rather, it doesn't have to be on goal, the team that's closest to the ball when the ball goes out of bounds. So again, I mentioned it last week, you see players diving for the ball and you're wondering why they're diving. Well, they're just trying to get in front of the opposite player and get closest to the line when the ball goes out of bounds.
On a shot.
It's not closest to the line, it's closest to the ball. Yes.
Down to 30 seconds left to go here.
I'm thinking they're waiting for the last shot here, which is a good thing to be doing.
Good, strong defense, and we've seen a lot of that. Cameron Cruz, a takeaway that time, but it's right back to the Wildcats. This is Verk. And now we're going to get a stop and play.
Looks like a hold on Arizona.
So a hold against Arizona, and I don't know about that. 3, 2, down to 1 second. The shot no good. Taken that time by Spencer O'Reilly, who is one of their top scorers this year, but comes up empty-handed. And at the end of one period of play, you have Arizona up 3-1 on the visiting Seawolves. And you're watching U of A lacrosse. This is APN Video Sports.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
Time to run that. I ran the wrong one. All right, we're back here from Sitton Field on the campus of Arizona, University of Arizona. The Wildcats with a 3-1 lead. And, Coach, you got to be kind of happy with the way the Cats came out and played in that first quarter.
Yeah, I think they're ready to play, and I think that Coach O'Heater is probably talking to his guys and saying, you know, hey, we didn't play that great, we didn't shoot well. But it's only a 3-1 game right now, so let's not panic. I think they would like to go into the halftime still in the game, which is what they tried to do the other night against Grand Canyon. And they were. I think the score was 4-2 in that game at halftime. It ended 13-4 in favor of the Lopes.
All right, this is our 6th face-off of the day. 3-2 advantage so far for the Cats, who lead it 3-1 here as we start quarter number 2. Ben Callahan out there battling with Kieran Farah. Ground ball comes all the way down into the Sonoma defensive half, all the way down close to the crease.
I think they changed face-off guys on that face-off. But maybe not.
All right, so now Sonoma. Nice clear by Hasna, Alex Hasna, another Granite Bay native.
Granite Bay, California. Where is Granite Bay?
You know,
somewhere by the bay, I bet.
Yeah, it could be. You got me on that one.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's a big state.
There's a lot of bays.
Piombo, excuse me, picked up there by Dengler. Trying to create. Oh, he almost had a good look. Good slide from the middle for Arizona's defense, and somehow Sonoma comes up with it. That's a great play by O'Reilly.
That is, and that's a play that they really should have been able to get the ball, Arizona. It looked like it was 5 against 1.
So a timeout on the field. This is Sonoma's final timeout, and when we come back, we'll have more play-by-play action. This is Wildcat Lacrosse on AP. Welcome back to the University of Arizona. The Wildcats up by 2 with 13:55 left to go here.
Angelo. I'm going to call him Angelo. We're first-name basis.
Tovri. Oh, and a nice check out in front of the crease. Daniel Rodriguez out of Sabino High School.
Ouch.
Right now, Ben Tovri not too happy with the official. He thought that should have been an illegal cross-check.
Here's Dahl again.
Dahl turned away by Arizona. Jack Facenda, one of the defenders, along with Barry Baker and Casey Merriman.
That's a nice defensive core there, those three young boys, young men, sorry.
I didn't say that. Somebody said that. I know, it's over there. Takeaway. Here's Tovri. And they'll restart it with Avery over in the corner. Back up to, well, here's Cameron Cruz, who's actually listed, Coach, as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, and he's also clearing the ball, too. He's had a couple of nice runs up the field, but then he gave up the ball.
Yeah, Piombo, who has it now, takes a shot, and Wyatt Hill with the denial.
Wyatt's diving for that shot.
Well, he's been a tough nut to crack here tonight. 3 minutes into the second quarter, and Arizona up 3-1. Now Bassett on the clear. Well, that should have been offsides there.
Nah, he waited for him to come
Did he?
Right?
It was close.
I'm giving him, the Bassett kid a break. He waited.
Peyton Boyd up top to Crown Hart. Crown Hart played at local Sal Point, just down walking distance from U of A.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about the game the other night. It's beautiful. It's a nice, they have a nice support here, Sal Point, for their team.
Nice swim move on the alley dodge. Work it back top. Nice save by Crown Hart with a nice one-handed grab. One of the toughest things in all of sports to do.
Especially when there's a long stick coming down on you.
Let's see if Boyd can
get back into the scoring column.
Yeah,
huh?
He's had 2 goals and an assist. So he's factored in all 3 goals here for Arizona. Spins out of X. Tough defense.
Yep.
And the shot over the back.
Turnover. Over and back.
10:52 left to go. We got a flag down, and Shane might have said something.
I'm thinking it was probably delay of game because he threw the ball. Yeah, that was the call. He threw the ball out of reach of the offensive player. That's a no-no. You have to be a gentleman. This is a gentleman's sport.
So it's a technical foul, 30 seconds. 10:49 left to go here in the first half. Arizona will be a man down. And this is the first time we've had a man up or man down, depending on which team you're rooting for.
It's good ball movement here.
Man up situation for Sonoma in the dark tops. Lobbed one over there. That kind of disrupted the flow. Stepping in, Tovry. An opportunity there. Here's Cruz. And Wyatt Hill, I think, may have got part of his face on that.
That was a really good man up, although they didn't have that many opportunities. But the defense was phenomenal in that. The slides were excellent on Arizona.
All right, both teams now even up as Sonoma begins to settle into their 6-on-6 here. And here's Cruz. He swims through, changes, a beautiful face dodge that time, and he's got the back of the cage.
So now we have to stop talking about him being a defensive midi because he's definitely staying in on the offense. He was there for the man up and stayed on the field.
We did a beautiful job switching from the left to the right, back to the right, from the left, and
yep.
And not everybody can do that.
No, it takes time to learn how to do that, and it's hard work. It's work against the wall. It's working hard at practice and not being afraid to do it at practice. And that's coaches want to encourage guys to work on things in practice. Here's your face-off again.
Well, the freshman Farah comes up with another one. Trouble, Bear has to get it over to his freshman goalie, Feinstein. 3-2 lead. And now we got a flag. And we got 2 flags. And tempers are starting to fly here. Sitting field, campus of Arizona.
We'll see what the call is here, but I'm sorry. Whatever it is, it's a little extreme in my opinion.
Well, we're going to get a 2-minute non-releasable on this one. Necessary roughness.
I think it was both of them.
Did he call it? Well, there's 2 flags out there. Let's see. All right, it's the same call, same penalty on both players. The one is going to go against Alex Hasna of Sonoma. And the other one is, I would assume, on James, is it James Huber?
Was it 12? We don't have a 12, so it might have been 42.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's Huber over there, number 42, the sophomore who got the start tonight on offense. 9:39 on the clock.
And has a goal and an assist.
And he's filled in admirably.
So he really shouldn't be in the penalty box. He should be on the field, and he needs to control his temper that way.
So it's a 5-on-5 situation here. 2-minute non-releasable. That means even if either team scores, neither one of those players will come out of the box until the 2 minutes have expired.
Yeah.
2-minute non-releasable. 9 minutes on the clock.
I'd have to see that again. Unfortunately, we don't have replays, but for 2 minutes, I don't know. Sounds like a high school call. 1 minute, sure.
That is the first shot, if I'm not mistaken, by Angelo Lagomarsino. Restart belongs to Sonoma State. Daniel Avery.
So they are playing 5-on-5, right? You understand?
Yep,
We're
they'll be
understanding that. Oh, there's a flag
another
is
flag.
down.
So now you're going to have a 5-on-4. Here's Angelo going to work with the left, and a powerful shot rattles the back of the, not the cage, but the golf cart,
The cart.
in the corner of the stadium here.
Fortunately, nobody was in the cart.
So let's see what the call is.
It was hard to see because I was so far behind where I was sitting.
I
By
think
the
it
way,
was a push with possession.
This week we're on ground level. So we were up a little higher last week. And I also should give you a compliment because now you have some much better equipment than you had just a week ago. Everybody can see the time and the score, and beautiful.
We did a software upgrade on APN, and I think it does look a lot better. And we got Justin Maxim behind the camera.
I think that was because I foregoed my salary, and you were able to do that.
Well, you know what?
But
you high-price free agents, he messes up the budget. That's an excellent ground ball. And you got to be a little bit impressed with Cameron Cruz. I think he's got to be one of the top players on the field here tonight.
Yeah, he's all over the place. And still going to be still 5-on-5. Penalties are not up, but it didn't really pay attention to the time of the game when those 2-minute penalties were awarded.
All right, can they tie this thing up? Cruz thought about it. Over to Lagomarsino. They work it around. Goal line extended. Shot, tough angle. Money spot there from Brent Tovry. And it's still 3-2.
That was another golf cart shot. Maybe we should put a net on the golf cart.
Got the hands open there, and that was Hayden Dahl trying for his second, and another yellow flag is down on the field.
Oh, there's another one.
Well, there's a lot of jawing going on, and the initial penalty is going to go against defender for Arizona, Jack Facenda. The second flag will probably be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
He's probably got a slash and a unsportsmanlike conduct.
You know, I've been to a lot of, because I refereed a lot of games in my career, although most people will say I wasn't really there. But, one of the things that when you go to the clinics, the first thing you hear as an instruction is don't have rabbit ears as a referee. You know, he called him for one penalty. He said something obviously not perfectly gentlemanly, but he was running off the field, so let him go. I don't want this game to be determined by – this is a close game. It's 3-2 with 7 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the second quarter. You don't want this game decided by officials.
Yeah.
You don't want any game decided by officials.
No, and no one comes to watch the officials, maybe unless their families are here, but –
yeah, unless they think they're in the zoo and they see zebras out running around. They think, oh, okay.
All right, so another man-up situation here. Let's see if Sonoma State can take advantage of it. They come in with a record of 3-6. They have struggled of late. Their wins have been over Utah Valley, San Diego State, and Stanford. Shot, bottom shelf. Beautiful save by Wyatt Hill. He's been outstanding.
Just to get the field right, we're now 6-on-5.
Yeah. Avery, harassing defense by Barry Baker, 21 for Arizona. And he is going to be pushed out of bounds. What about Barry Baker?
Barry Baker, another guy, by the way, that's a ground ball machine. He's one of the leaders on the team in ground balls.
Well, the outstanding defender out of Northwood High in Irvine, California. Now you got 20 seconds to get it past the halfway line, and Wyatt Hill's going to do it. So an empty goal. He's being harassed. Good ride defensively for Sonoma. Now Bayer on the takeaway. Shot. And Wyatt Hill, I don't know if he got part of that.
It's going to be Arizona ball, though. He got back just in the nick of time.
He sure did.
And they don't have a 20-second. It's 30 seconds to get into the.
I'm sorry.
Into the goal
that's
area.
my high school.
Yeah,
yep,
I get confused all the time.
20 seconds to get halfway, and then 10 seconds to get it in the penalty box at the high school level.
Yeah, I've always thought the rule. Ooh, there's a flag. And that's on Cruz. That's a slash.
Arizona called a timeout. We're going to get a slash. And really, Coach, now let's keep it here on this timeout.
Okay.
We're going to keep it here. Clearly he was hit not only in the helmet but in the face guard. Why is that not a non-releasable?
Well, that's
in
up
your
to the
opinion.
Well, it could have been, but it's not automatic that a blow to the head is 2 minutes. It's a discretionary call, and I guess he thought that is that guy from ASU also that ref? Not sure, but no, he's not.
You're getting us in trouble here.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's good to be in trouble. I'm in trouble all the time. Every time I open my mouth, I think like I'm in trouble. I was told the other day I need to have a break on my emergency break on my mouth, on my tongue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, how'd your date go the other night?
I was just fine, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was. We went to a great concert. It was a great concert here in town, and the place was packed. It was 60s, 70s, and 80s music, all live. All live.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, right now, Arizona with a 3-2 lead. They have gotten a couple of points from Huber, who got the start here today for the injured Falbo. And the leading scorer is Mr. Boyd with 2 points and 1 assist, and 1 assist for Jeff Howard for Arizona. That rounds out the scoring. Cruz and Dahl have scored for visiting Sonoma, who is in the dark uniforms.
So now we're going to see that the other penalty was released on Arizona, so now they're man up. 6-on-5 this way, Arizona way.
5 minutes and 48 seconds left to go. Money area there for Arizona. Here's Lloyd freeing up their hands.
Bang!
And he bams one through with a big right hand.
I always call that shot in the.
Now that's a wowza.
That was a yowza.
Or
but
yowza.
that went into the toy department up in the corner. That was a beautiful shot. And that one, I would say, was probably unassisted.
Yeah. Unassisted at the 5:39 mark here.
It's great to see Colton scoring. He can sometimes be a little usual on his shots. And now that was a great shot. Great shot.
So Arizona leads it by a score of 4-2 with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to go, and a face-off win for the Cats.
And we are all even.
And, Coach, meaning that the penalty time is over for Arizona?
Well, Arizona was over before they went on. They waited for that penalty to be over before they went through their man-up set.
Ooh, nice little dodge there. Oh, I thought he was going to take it to the house that time, but Trudy pulls it out. He hasn't played as much this season. And we got an offsides. That's a little unusual after the ball with the penetration that far down into the offensive half. But nonetheless, here comes Sonoma.
These guys would have had numbers if they wanted to move the ball around. Arizona was a little slow getting back on defense.
So Cameron Cruz, who started the game at defense,
Yep, he's becoming the offensive star. Here he is becoming again. Is that him?
Number 2 is well, he's out. He's out
oh,
front.
Yeah, that's number. Yeah, there's a 2 on that guy's jersey though. I came close.
Tovey. Shot.
Goal.
That was a blistering shot that rattles the back of the cage. Daniel Avery brings Sonoma back to within 1.
And we'll give that a nice, quiet yowzer, just because we don't want to be impartial. We have Democrats and Republicans and independents in the stands, so we want to take care of everybody here.
Arizona with a 5-3 face-off wins advantage in this game. Well, these last 4:22 becomes very important. You want to finish strong here if you're Arizona. Ground ball.
Yep. Bear again. Jared Bear.
He's been active, no doubt about it, for Coach Panchito Ojeda in his 5th year.
And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Bear is getting a lot of harassment from the crowd. Probably because his name is Beer. Or they think it's Beer.
There was a Max Bear that was a
boxer.
Yeah. And his son was on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Also Max Bear.
Yeah, also Max Bear.
There you go. We know stuff here, don't we?
We're just not all about lacrosse. Oh, Wyatt Hill rising to the occasion on the save.
Oh,
there's a push. That'll be without possession. It should be Arizona's. Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, it's a loose
My
ball
bad.
push. That's okay.
Cameron Cruz.
It wasn't your bad. It was the player's bad, actually.
Cruz 5'9", 175. Good slide there.
By the way, he's from Cruz is from San Marcos. Can I say San Marcos Bay so I can ask you where that is?
Wyatt Hill turning away that time. Brett Tovey. I'm going to have to Google the state of California, Coach, because a few of these places I'm not familiar with.
Well, maybe we can put up a map at halftime.
Well, we could do that. Well, just a reminder, we're going to have some special programming, our Spotlight Series.
Yeah, I have a request for a Spotlight Series for another time.
Wyatt Hill again. 4-3 Arizona, 2.5 left to go here in the first half. Nice knock away there by Cruz, who's been really tremendous. Lago Marcino, who has been their leading scorer this year, shut down through the first 2 quarters of play. But he's the type of player that can turn it on and, he could bring an avalanche of scores at any moment.
Yeah, he's had 21 goals this year and 7 assists.
And here's Exton Bassett, and they let him go around, and he bounces one into the back of the cage. He started from midfield on that dodge, went over the top, and he ties it at 4.
Yeah, there was too much effort in trying to take the ball away from him. Sometimes you have to respect players' abilities, and I like to call it, because I learned it from another guy, Richie Dahoney, who lives here. I like to call it my time and your time. Sometimes it's my time, and I'll go after it, and sometimes it's his time, and I'm going to play him more conservatively and not try to take the ball away. Just stop him from doing what he wants to do.
And that score came, Coach, right on cue. I mean, I was just saying he can score, an avalanche of goals at will at times. We've seen that this year from that young man, and well, he comes through, and this is the first time we've been tied since it was 1-1 at the 8:43 mark in the first period.
That's a good call.
Well, the face-offs are even. That was a nice scoop there by Matt Quinn.
Yep, Matt Quinn.
1:40 left to play. First half action. Over to Bear. Harrison Bonham, who's, I believe, got the start against Boston College. Down to 125. 4-4 tie. Arizona Wildcats, the Sea Wolves of Sonoma State battling here. Both these teams came in 3 games under the 500 mark by way of record.
Oh.
Nice move there. And Wyatt Hill loose out front, and they're going to award the score. Not sure about that, but
yeah, definitely went in. What happened?
Okay.
You're probably watching the goalie, Wyatt Hill, and I think he thought it was going. I don't know what he thought, but it might have been deflected because it was going pretty slowly.
Interesting to see if they're going to. I think they're going to credit Spencer O'Reilly for the score, the sophomore attackman out of San Rafael, California, which is on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco to the north.
Perfect.
So they've scored 2 in a row here, Coach, and with 1:07, they have the lead.
Well, this is an important face-off right now because chances are whoever gets the face-off, they're going to control the ball for the rest of the quarter.
1 minute left to play, and Sonoma State wins the face-off. They've won 3 in a row. They have a 6-5 advantage there, but now cannot control it. Unsettled ball. Who wants it? And it's Arizona in desperate need. Great defense. 35 not on our roster.
Out of bounds.
Give it back to the Wildcats with 36.9 seconds left to play here in the first half.
That was Harrison Bonham that got really aggressive and pushed the player out of bounds.
So Jaden Chandran, he is going to check out of the game.
This guy's got to get moving. The clock is running.
And now Colton Lloyd, who had a big shot earlier.
15 seconds in the quarter.
Lloyd trying to free up that right hand, and they promptly throw it away. This will go out of play with 9 seconds left to go here. Not much time here for Sonoma.
No, he should be just throwing the ball all the way up the field like that. He was actually shooting it. I don't know why.
It gives Arizona 4.4.
No, they're still giving it to the Seawolves.
I'm just glad that shot didn't head over this way.
Yeah, that was Bear again.
So at 4 seconds, that's going to run out the clock. The shot at the buzzer, no good by Brent Tovey. And we go to the locker room. Bring out the band. It's halftime. And, well, the visiting Sonoma State Seawolves, they poured it on. They scored a couple there towards the end of the quarter. And we go to halftime, trailing them 5-4.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
From lacrosse?
Definitely going to the East Coast my junior year with my high school team over spring break. That was really fun. Then I'm gonna have to say beating Liberty in overtime my freshman year. That was probably my best memory, my favorite game.
So what's your favorite sort of part of lacrosse lingo or term, and what's the definition to it?
Oh, there's a lot. Probably maybe cookies, yard sale, when you like de-twig someone. I don't know, top cheese when you rip it high, when you go high to high on the goalie.
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
So who has been the biggest influence on your career?
I'll say Kyle Harrison or Paul Rabel, just because they're quick. They have a really good split dodge. They have rips. They got cannons. So just like want to be the best.
All right. What's your favorite pregame meal?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say some Skittles and maybe some chicken.
Is that like a ritual that you've had, or is that just something?
Nah, it's just whatever I see. Whatever I see, I'm kind of just gonna grab it. I like having Skittles before the game.
So who is your favorite professional team to watch?
The Rams, baby. Todd Gurley, all the way. The Los Angeles Rams. They're my
Do you
squad.
prefer NFL football over college football?
I do.
And if you were to write a scouting report on yourself, what skill would you emphasize?
Scouting report on myself? Well, I'm definitely put a short stick on me so I can get a lot of looks. I'm hard right. I'm not going left. And if I'm inside 18 yards, I'm probably going to shoot the ball. So.
First of all, you're from Colorado. What is your favorite part about your hometown?
Favorite part's probably the mountains, being able to go up in the winters, ski a couple times, play pond hockey all the time, so that's what I like to do.
Out of all those you just listed and, of course, of like snowboarding and more, what is your favorite winter activity?
Probably hockey, playing pond hockey, going up to the lakes and being able to do that, so.
So do you like the sun out here, or do you definitely prefer the snow?
I definitely like the sun. Not a big fan of the cold, unless I'm skiing or playing hockey. So
what's your favorite part of college so far?
College, probably being around this team, playing lacrosse, and it's an awesome school. So.
Have you ever taken an 8 a.m.? And if so, how was that?
Yeah, I've taken one. Not a fan, not a morning person, so definitely not again.
What's your go-to time for a class? Like, what's the earliest you'll go?
Go-to is probably like 11, no earlier than 11.
So what's your favorite pregame snack before a game?
Pre-game snack
meal.
Honestly would be probably Panda Express. A little weird. Little
the
super,
one at the student union? Or?
No, just anywhere. A little superstitious. It's been going back since high school days, so definitely have that before games.
So what's your order at Panda Express?
Definitely the double orange chicken and white rice.
So how about post-game? What do you have for post-game?
Post-game, it varies. Usually big meal, like carb up, pasta. So, but that's it.
All right, so if you were to write a scouting report about yourself, what skill would you emphasize most?
That I'm all lefty. Don't really like going right. I'm a big body, like posting up guys. Not a huge dodger, but yeah, all left.
Have you ever considered playing another position in lacrosse?
Yeah, I actually moved from attack to midi last year for the first time, but I like where I am at attack. So.
Why did you make that change?
Why?
Yeah.
I made it just because we needed a little more depth on midfield last year, so a little more scoring up top. So.
First off, if you were to write a scouting report about yourself, what skill would you emphasize?
I think I got a strong right hand. I think I'm pretty one-sided as a player, but I'm not sure. It's kind of a tough question, to be honest.
So you grew up in California. What was your favorite thing about growing up in California?
I lived out in the country, and we had like farm animals growing up, so I was always playing with my goats and stuff. I played lacrosse, which is pretty fun actually. So that's gotta be top.
What was that like? Did you have a lot of friends who also grew up in the countryside? Was it?
Yeah, like where I'm from is like 6,000 people, so like all my friends were out in the same area as me.
So you don't apply to a lot of the California stereotypes.
No, I don't. Not at all.
What is would you say is the biggest misconception about California?
That's all beach. Everyone thinks it's like avocados and beach and surfing, but there's a lot of farmland. Yeah, a lot of rural areas, so that's where I happen to be from.
Have you ever gone to the beach or surfed?
I have, yeah, down San Diego, but not where I'm from. There's no water besides lakes, so.
So what is one talent that you wish you had?
I wish I could sing better. I'm a huge singer in the shower, and my parents always tell me my voice is pretty bad, so I'd like to be able to sing better. I wouldn't stop singing if I could. I don't really right now anyways, so.
What song would you perform if you could sing?
Love on the Brain by Rihanna. I was just playing it in my car.
What was your first job?
First job, I worked construction management. It was just like a neighbor's company. They hooked it up because he's a nice guy, so that was my first job.
What did you learn from that job?
How to cold call. I had to cold call companies a lot, and that was pretty tough. So I got that on my resume.
What is your pregame ritual?
I pump a lot of music. I'm a big music guy, so I listen to like real like classic rock and stuff earlier, and then towards game we get a lot of Gucci and stuff going. So it's gotta have music going.
And finally, if you were to play a different collegiate sport, which one would you play?
Football.
Football?
Yeah, I could walk on. Coach Rodriguez, if you're watching, or whoever our new coach is, Coach Sumlin, one of those guys. Yeah, put me on. I got an arm.
right, welcome back to University of Arizona on a crisp, cool night. Breeze blowing in. And a 5-4 lead as Sonoma State, the visiting team, is on top. Coach, they're out of the Western Collegiate Lacrosse League, 3-6 by way of record, but they're 1-1 in their league and still very much alive for a playoff spot. And the same thing can be said for Arizona, who's got a big, big game. We like to get everybody out here. We need a big crowd, 12 noon, high noon, as they say down here in the old Pueblo.
That's right.
And San Diego State and Arizona, if Arizona wins, they're pretty much in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the problem is that both teams are actually – the way I'm sorry to be babbling here, but the way we set up our schedules generally is to play the teams in our division at the end of our season. That way we can work on our game during the season, work on our game. It's the teams in our division, in our case in the SLC, South Division, that it's the only way we get into the playoffs right now. So both teams are the same situation, and both have a lot of division games to play.
Well, Arizona got out to a good start, even though they trailed 1-0 early. The goal by Dahl for Sonoma gave them a 1-0 lead, but Arizona reeled off 3 straight. And the big reason why was their top scorer, Peyton Boyd, had 2 goals and an assist. And they got a little help from a new starter in James Huber, who had a goal and an assist. And Boyd, then we didn't really hear from Boyd too much offensively. He did not score in that second quarter. Lloyd did add a goal, made it 4-2. They've led by as many as 2 on 2 different occasions, but it was all Sonoma there in that latter part as they reeled off 3 straight and lead it here as we get set for quarter number 3, 5-4.
As you'll see, or if you think about it rather, I think the difference in the scoring has to do with the ball control. Arizona just seems to be over-anxious to put the ball in the hoop, and Sonoma's taking much more time with it. And that's what's the difference, I believe, right now in the score, because both teams look pretty equal. They both have good defenses. They have good offensive players. The face-offs have been going back and forth. And, now it's time for the referees to put those yellow hankies away, unless they throw them against Sonoma State. And let's get this game going.
And, Coach, another thing was when Cameron Cruz moved from defense to midfield, I thought that was a huge lift to their ball possession.
Absolutely. I think that he's made a big difference, and we've talked about him during the first half. He's made a great difference in the game.
So we're underway. Third quarter action. Arizona trailing 5-4 here. They lose yet another faceoff. That's 4 in a row for Sonoma State. And an excellent job by
guess who?
Cameron Cruz.
Yep. He seems to be around where the ball is coming.
In the defensive half is Sonoma, leading at 5-4. Angelo scoring his only goal, and that came at the 1:54 mark. Swim move and slipping on what might be a bit of moisture on this turf here tonight.
Yeah, it is getting a little humid out for Tucson anyway. At this time of the year, you can get any kind of weather.
Now, on your screen here, you may think that this is an artificial turf field because look how green it is on your monitor, but this is natural grass. Out in front of the pipe, and Wyatt Hill, who has made really a boatload of great saves here tonight, and he made another one there.
Yeah, he's definitely keeping the score close right now, and he may have to continue to play that way. There's Rodriguez clearing the ball.
Rodriguez, another one of those defensive midfielders.
We talked about him last week. If remember that when he was in high school, he was a goalie. But he transitioned coming to Arizona to midfield, defensive midfield.
Trudy getting an opportunity to play here. Number 18 gives it off to the James Huber. Huber. Now they'll work it up along the near side. The wing play of Shane Crownhart.
Okay.
Now Jeff Howard. Howard's been a little quiet here. I think Coach Blamey probably likes to see more touches out of Howard here in the second half. And for that matter, Lloyd, he takes the shot. It was a contested shot. Nice job by Justin Bear.
Yeah, I didn't get much of a shot off, but we do retain possession of the ball, and that's important.
And a good backup by Colton Lloyd, right on cue. Out of X. Harassed by Hampton. Still in possession. Looking. High crease. No. Crownhart cannot get away from Matt Quinn.
Shane needs to get a little busier in this game because he can put him in as good as anybody.
Now Crownhart, he will take the shot. He nearly decapitated Quinn that time.
And he didn't make me any smarter either.
He did what you told him to do, Coach.
No, I didn't tell him to miss the cage. I didn't tell him to hit the golf cart.
Well, you told him to get active. Now James Huber. A point and 2 points, a goal and assist early in the game, back in the first quarter. He and Peyton Boyd need to get that two-man tandem going again.
Yeah.
Inside of 12 minutes left to play here. It's a 5-4 lead for Sonoma State.
See, now Jeff Howard is taking the short stick behind the cage where he's really uncomfortable. The short stick, that is.
Lloyd going right-handed and missed. It was a good challenge there. We don't have 35 on our roster. Let's see if it's on the one I got from – nope, we don't have a 35 on the roster for Sonoma, and he's been getting a lot of defensive playing time here. That might be Andrew Moore because he's one of the taller players out there at 6'3".
That's going to be Arizona ball. That was actually a shot.
It's been a long possession.
It's good possession.
Arizona looking to equalize, trailing 5-4 with 11:15 left to play here in the third. Crownhart. Good check by Quinn. Frees up the left hand, and he's going to be turned away. Jackson Feinstein, the freshman in goal, the keeper for Sonoma State on the save.
Yeah, I thought maybe they'd be switching goalies at halftime, but I guess they decided to give each of their goalies a full game.
And he really has not been challenged a whole lot in this game. He was early. Howard, back over to Huber. Gormican.
Emmett's, I haven't seen him too much on the field.
Did play in that Boston College game, which was going on two and a half weeks ago. It seemed like yesterday. Left-handed shot, and again turned away by Feinstein. And it's still Arizona's ball, Coach, with 10:23.
Flag is down.
Yeah, crowd wanting a hold that time on Sonoma State.
See, now they just need to take their time. There's no rush right now.
And you don't want the ball to hit the ground or the officials will stop the play and assess the penalty.
It can hit the ground as long as it doesn't change possession. Sorry about that.
And there's the change of possession.
Yeah. And who had it? Bear. They got me calling him Beer now.
So 9:55 left to go here. This is a 30-second technical foul and a man-up situation. Arizona has held the ball. I mean, we're going on 4-minute possession here. That's kind of uncalled for in this game.
Well, what I was saying at halftime was that they weren't controlling the ball enough. So there's no such thing as over-controlling it. But let's see what they can do here on the man-up.
And it would be a huge, huge win for Sonoma if they can make the stop here, kill this penalty time.
That was Crown hard on the shot. Bounced a little higher than he thought it was.
Now Howard over to Boyd. Quickly over to Crownhart. That one was deflected out front. Somebody's got to dodge. Crownhart, one-hop shot. Really mistimed that one.
The penalty's over, and teams are at equal strength, but it's Arizona ball.
Let's see if the Cats, I'll tell you, I think from a psychological standpoint, they got to score here. I think this is a big, big possession for the Cats. Led by their head coach, Matt Blamey, coming in with a record of 2-5. They have lost 4 straight.
Well, you would think the defense for Sonoma State would be kind of tired by now. So,
and this time he's got it. Lloyd for the second time, and we're tied at 5 with 9 minutes left to play here in the third.
And again, he was unassisted. So he can show that he can do it by himself if he has the mindset to do that. And he certainly does today.
So an unassisted goal for Mr. Colton Lloyd, 5'8", 165-pounder out of Sabino.
And, you know, his brother played here at Sabino and then went up to Grand Canyon to play. And his brother was a phenomenal player. Unfortunately, he is not with us anymore. Yeah. But their family is here, and their family has been always very supportive of lacrosse wherever it is happening.
How about that for a face-off win? Dangler quickly into the offensive half. Arizona looking to take the lead.
Yowza.
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
It's because I'm always in trouble, like I said. The squeaky wheel thing.
5-5 tie, 8:15 on the clock. Here's the dodge, here's the shot, turned away nicely. A one-timer out in front of the crease. No good by Arizona, but somehow they get the rebound.
So the defense still staying on the field. After that, even though we won got the goal and won the face-off, the defense is going to be tired.
Okay, here is Kerrigan. He can score. Boy, a good check there by Hasna. Hasna again, and that'll be a push.
From behind. That's a loose ball push. Good call. Good call, Jeff. Boy, when you and I can see it, we know it must be good. Hi.
And here's a clear by Bear. Bodies falling all over the place, and Arizona comes up with a ground ball.
Yeah, Boyd.
And Bear is not too happy. Picked up by Peyton Boyd. 5-5 tie with 7 minutes and 15 seconds left to go here in the third.
Go there.
Under 7 minutes. Well, we've been treated so far to a really entertaining game, and we've seen a lot of physicality too.
Yeah, and we're also getting entertained by the I actually did get wait, hold on. I got the number of people here. It's not quite as much as last week, but it's 12,362 paid.
That may be a season record, as a save by Jackson Feinstein of Sonoma State coming up with it with 6:20 left to go here in the third and a 5-5 tie.
Yeah.
Sonoma on the clear.
I was saying that the camera's on this side, so the stands are all over here, so they really can't see the crowd. But they're here. It's Cruz again.
Cam Cruz giving it up to Tovry. And now Cameron Cruz. Boy, I'm telling you, these fans from Sonoma, they're having a lot of fun out here at the expense of these officials.
That's all right. Officials are tough. They can
handle it.
Hear it.
Here's Cruz. Nice spin. He had a possible shot out front, and now they'll work it out way out front with Hayden Dahl, who scored the game's first goal. Inside, Angelo turned away. Wyatt Hill has done it again.
That's a beautiful save and an important one, too.
And that was at point-blank
And
range.
here we go.
And taking his eye off the ball was Cruz. It's a turnover. It'll be Wildcats' ball with 5:13 left to play here in the third.
You know, you've been mentioning number 24, Brent, for Sonoma State, Brent Tovey. And he's had 3 hat tricks this season so far. He's one of their leading scorers as well. So he's somebody that we need to keep an eye on when the game gets a little closer. I mean, when the clock gets a little closer. The game can't get any closer than it is at 5-5.
No, not at 5-5. But, you know, Tovery's a guy that Arizona's defense has done a nice job containing here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jason Hill, who hasn't played a lot. Cruz made a little contact with the helmet that time of Hill. No call. Harassing defense. Good check there. 5:24, third quarter action. We're tied at 5. Here's the Dodge goal line extended right. Good slide there, Coach.
Absolutely. Jason Hill is from Scripps Ranch in San Diego, and I'm sure his parents are listening because they called me earlier today, said they're going to be listening, and I should give them a shout-out. So there you go, the Hill family, the Jason Hill family.
Is that a big tennis school, isn't it?
I thought it was a pharmacy. Scripps. Oh, get the ball, get the ball.
Yeah, we got a hold. So we had a holding somehow on Arizona. Then there was a quick whistle there, and he took the shot. He missed it, but they would have waved it off.
Yeah, that whistle had already blown.
Now Angelo going to work here.
See, doesn't have that desire to go in. He's one-on-one with Merriman. Merriman's doing a great job, and we're glad to see him out on the field today. But
why is it that so many defenders you see, Coach? You've got a score like Lago Marcino, and a defender will play back and not get up on a defender. Is it because of the speed of the offensive player?
I don't have any.
Because I see it all the time.
Yeah, that's not the way we coach because you don't want to give a guy a chance to get that headway and get going. It's a yowza for Johnny Lai.
I know on like their website there is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, close range. Great pass. Daniel Avery. So Avery has scored for the second time.
Yeah.
And they have regained the lead with our third lead change. It is 6-5 Sonoma State.
Yeah, Avery was wide open down there. It's a little defensive lapse, but now we just have to get that back and go from there.
So that comes 2:51. A reminder that Arizona will be playing here at home against San Diego State, high noon here in the Old Pueblo, and that's a big game. We hope you can come out and join us. If not, you can go to APM Video's Facebook, or rather YouTube page, and catch all the play-by-play here with Mickey Miles Felton, the Hall of Famer. Face-off win. That might be a big one. The shot no good. Good try there by Peter Chase.
Yeah, the game, as you mentioned, is at high noon. And I think San Diego State, not to get ahead of ourselves because we have a game here and a close game, but they better come in here with both guns loaded because Arizona, for high noon that is, for Arizona will be definitely ready to play. This game is, they're almost using it as a tune-up for that game. Mm-hmm. Although, you know, we don't want to give away anything.
6-5 Sonoma State. As we mentioned, both teams coming in. They've struggled. 3 games under the 500 mark. And now they got Lago Marcino back out at midfield.
Yep, but they still have long stick on them. Well,
Look at
Merriman Casey just followed him out there.
That's a tough play for a close defender.
Right, but he's not going to the cage. He didn't make any effort to go to the cage there. It seemed like he was running down the alley, but he wasn't going to the cage. And I'm really surprised because when I was looking up his stats earlier today so I could be intelligent, or try to be, one of the things you look at when a guy's leading scorer is, did he have 12 goals against nobody and no goals against a better team? But in the last game, he did have 3 goals against Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And he scored well in every game. So
it was interesting that Sonoma State was only down 2 at the half.
Yeah.
But Grand Canyon, who many believe should be the #1 ranked team in the country.
They're not?
They're not. They are number 2, Utah.
Oh, Utah. Utah has, they're on their way to.
D'Angelo gets his second of the day. Every time we talk good about him, he does something great like score.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was a great shot. But notice his shot was from outside, not when he was going towards the cage.
So this marks the largest lead of the day for Sonoma State University.
Okay, we got 6 minutes here.
So we're down to 55 seconds left to go here in the third period. A 7-5 lead for Sonoma State visiting the Arizona Wildcats right here on the home of the Wildcats APN Video and apnvideo.com. We need a ground ball here, and they got it.
There you go. Good call.
We're going to get a quick timeout here. Let's see. It is going to be a Wildcat timeout.
Right. And by the way, that was Peter Chase on the faceoff for Arizona.
Oh, okay. Peter Chase.
Adjustment by Coach Blamey.
Well, and he's won 2 in a row. And as we say on every telecast here, it's all about possession.
Well, it is now.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, apnvideo.com.
So let's take a time out here. You're watching Arizona lacrosse.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, apnvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
All right, we're back. 7-5 is the score. Sonoma State, who trailed earlier in the game, they were down 4-2 after Lloyd scored his first goal of the contest for Arizona. They reeled off 3 straight to take a 5-4 lead into the locker room. Lloyd scored his second 6 minutes into the third to tie it at 5, but Avery and Angelo Lago-Marcino have scored for Sonoma State to take a 7-5 lead. Arizona in possession with 35 seconds on the clock, and they need a score. Let's see if we can go into the fourth quarter in a 1-point game.
What they don't need right now is to make a mistake and give up the ball. Finish the quarter with a good shot.
Huber, who scored 2 points in the first quarter, bad pass, and it was a takeaway by Justin Bear, and he's got 12 seconds to clear and get it into the offensive half. They're all the way down to 5, down to 4. Here's Cruz in trouble, and a nice job by the defense. They take it away. That was Peyton Boyd collaborating with Jeff Howard, and we head to the fourth, trailing Sonoma State by 2. This is Arizona Wildcats lacrosse on APN.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today. Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
If the team just hang around with themselves all the time.
All right, we go to the fourth period of play. A 7-5 lead for visiting Sonoma State. Face-offs have been pretty even here. We're going to get a whistle and
interference.
Let's turn it back over to Arizona State, or U of A, excuse me.
Yeah. Hey, watch out.
Watch out.
Forget who's sitting next to you, man.
Fighting words. U of A. Good opportunity. Just not a strong shot by Kerrigan.
No.
.38 left to play here in regulation time. Arizona needing a score. Now the dodge. Gotta get Jeff Howard going here. Good pass in the pipe.
Finish.
Takes the shot and the save. Hubert, not much mustard on that one.
I think that was a defensive stick that was had something to do with that. It's an opportunity for possession. There you go. Arizona ball.
Yep, that's what the Cats need. But they need the score. This has been some kind of drought. In fact, they have scored only one goal since Lloyd scored at the 5:39 mark back in the second quarter.
Whoa.
And an unsuccessful attempt to clear. And the turnover, here's Matt Quinn going to work. Cameron Cruz scored at the 9:59 mark back in quarter number 2 to draw his team to a 3-2 deficit. But right now they lead at 7-5 with 13:20 on the clock. Fourth quarter action.
I'm not sure I actually answered your question before about why a defenseman lays back. And it's not the way I believe it should be played, because when you have a fast guy and you lay back, it's going to be it's like a punter. I mean, the receiver on a punt. You give him enough room, he's going to beat you. And so he needs to get picked up sooner. There's an errant pass. Going back to Arizona.
Well, one thing that Arizona has been really good at, they've been backing up their shots. Remember, they started the second half with about a 4-minute-plus possession.
Right. Yep. See, now Boyd is playing midfield.
Now Casey Merriman. Of course, proud sponsor, Casino Mine Ranch, Amador Wines. Mr. Merriman was so nice to send the Homestead a 3-pack, and I've tried 2 of them, and they were delicious.
You were saving that third one for me?
Well, I'm hoping he will send maybe another
3751 North Round Rock Drive.
Okay, let me write that down. So, Mr. Merriman, we love your wines, and we can't wait to come up to Sacramento area and visit the homestead.
The homestead.
Casino Mine Ranch Wines, a proud sponsor of Wildcat lacrosse. Wild pass, big ground ball here. Wyatt Hill will have
check. That was a check by Facina that allowed that to. Look at this.
Right now, it's getting sloppy on both sides. Bear. Big ground ball there.
Still has it, but he's out of bounds with the ball. It's Arizona ball.
It's Arizona's ball, but the Sonoma State faithful here wanted a big-time penalty.
Those things happen when you jump into 3 or 4 guys.
That's a good point, too. You initiate some of the contact. I don't know if that was – you think that might have been the situation there?
Yeah, he ran out of room over here. He came to the sideline, and once you come to the sideline, you have no room on your right-hand side in this case. So he got jammed up. They did a good job of ganging up on him.
Crownhart. Boyd, I don't even know if Boyd was waiting for that pass. I don't think he saw the pass coming. It's a ground ball, and now Sonoma State, who had it, a good ground ball there by Andrew Moore. And then they throw it away, and now another ball thrown away, another unforced turnover.
2 more.
So this is a dead ball.
See what they call here. See if they're going to call over and back. It might have been, the referees are discussing whether it was deflected by a defensive stick.
Well, let's see if they can come up with the right answer.
No, it's going to be Sonoma ball.
Well, the officials have elected to give the ball to Sonoma State, who has a 7-5 lead.
Well, at least the officials got together and made the right call, according to them, and somebody obviously saw it hit a defensive stick, or missed the defensive stick, excuse me. That didn't make sense at all, did it?
Arizona, though, has not scored in nearly 25 minutes.
Yeah. It's a problem.
Or once in the last 25 minutes, excuse me. 9-minute mark in the third. Lloyd got his second goal of the day for the Wildcats. Good swim move. Shot taken. Wyatt Hill still looking good out there. Quickly, a great outlet to Boyd. And now Arizona in transition.
Look at Cruz.
Boyd, nice check from behind. A nice trail check by Hasna.
Cruz stopped that fast break, though. That was impressive.
Yeah, what is this, a screen?
It's a moving pick. Interference.
So the interference will give it back to Sonoma State, the Seawolves. I wish somebody would let us know if there is such a thing as a Seawolf.
Where's my Twitter account?
I don't know. I need to ask a science teacher that we know. Do you know anyone?
I know people, yeah, but nobody that could tell me if a sea wolf is real. Does it bark underwater? What makes it a sea wolf?
I don't know. That's a very good question. Let me tell you. 9:11 left to play here in the third. Boy, I'll tell you, if they go up by 3, that's going to be devastating for Arizona. As we mentioned, they have scored only 1 goal over the last 26 minutes plus. Tovry, Jaden Chandran, 30 out there, short stick midfielder.
Yeah, they don't seem to, well, shot and a save by Hill.
Wyatt Hill again. Hasna took that shot, and now we need a good clear. Jaden also played for Dan Lannon at Desert Vista. Good pass over to Kerrigan, but the nice slide.
Two good slides.
Yep. But now he gets around the defender, goes bottom shelf, and he's found the promised land. That is a monster goal for Quinn Kerrigan.
Quinn Kerrigan just needed to, and there's a flag. but Quinn Carrigan just needed to get a little closer to the goal. And that was a terrific move on his part. Also unassisted. Let's see what the flag's all about, though, because it's still laying on the field, which kind of indicates it could be a personal foul, and it might have been a late hit. The goal is good. But I couldn't tell what the call was. But we'll see if somebody goes into the box. It looks like Longstick's going in there. So we have to believe it's and there will be no face-off.
So a man-up situation.
That penalty happened after the goal, so there's no face-off. If it happened before the goal, then there would be a face-off. But after the goal, no face-off. So here's a chance right now. We got a little momentum going on.
I think we're going to get a timeout.
Good timeout.
So the Seawolves will call a timeout with 8:20. You want to keep it here, Coach?
Sure. Let's talk.
So it's a 7-6 lead for the visitors. We got big San Diego State. Hey, we need a big crowd out here at Sitton Field, high noon, this Saturday.
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to that. But all of a sudden, this game got picked up with a little momentum and a little excitement. So I say we stay here with this game, and then everybody will show up on Saturday.
Well, if you're wondering, if those of you might be listening on the Sonoma State side, they'll be playing Dominican University at Rohnert Park, California. And so that'll be their next game. And so we got San Diego State, and if we can go 2-0, looking good in the Southwestern LACS Conference. So we're going to take a quick time out here. We'll be back in just a moment.
Serving the Grand Canyon State and the Great Southwest, APNvideo.com is rated #1 in sports videography. Call today.
Seven to 6 is the score. We're back. Sonoma State Seawolves.
Just setting it back up again. Arizona's man up. So it was a really good chance. That was a very good timeout by Coach Ojeda, I thought. Was that his first or his second?
I think that was the first of the second half.
Yeah, so he's got one more.
So we're down to 8 minutes. Arizona looking to equalize in a man-up situation. Boyd. Carrigan again. Turned away, but he gets the ground ball in X. Got to go back to work. Get that crisp passes going on here for Arizona.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Boyd, by the way.
Howard turned away by the freshman. Almost like the defender just left him. And he had a wide open, and the hands were clear.
Whoa.
Is this a takeaway? No. Great ground ball that time by Bear.
We call that a helicopter check because the stick is propelling like a helicopter.
Arizona trying to gain possession. Unsettled ball, but it's going to be picked up by Spencer O'Reilly. And now Hayden Dahl, one of their leading scorers, back in the ball game, number 4, with 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth. Arizona trailing Sonoma State 7-6.
And it's all even. The penalty on Sonoma State was done. And I should mention something about that. Often for younger kids, when there's a penalty and the penalty is released, the guys on the sideline, as soon as the penalty is released, they start yelling all even. But in fact, it isn't all even because he's not down there playing defense.
Exactly.
So it's something that coaches are, of course, are aware of. But it's something that people need to pay attention to.
And how many times do you see that where you've got you're a man up, and they say they're even, and they lose. There's no aggressiveness.
Right. That was a pick again, interference that turned that over. Howard's getting attacked.
Under 6 minutes left to play. Play 4 15-minute quarters here. This one's been close. The largest lead was a 7-5 lead for Sonoma State earlier in this quarter.
Yeah, I say now Huber's playing behind. He was playing up top before, wasn't he?
Now Crownhart. Arizona led by 2 on 2 other occasions, 3-1 and 4-2. That was in the first half. They trailed 5-4 at halftime, 7-5 going into this quarter, and right now the team in white, the Wildcats, trail 7-6, 5:15 on the clock, fourth quarter. Kerrigan playing with a lot more confidence since he got that goal. He may be a target here for Boyd.
Yeah, well, he certainly was. That was a great pass, but I think that.
Nice effort there. Not a bad shot by Crownhart for Arizona.
Not a bad take. Good
Not
shot.
a bad take,
Good
yes.
shots go in.
And this
Like
time,
that.
Arizona has tied the game up.
And that's a yowza for Colton. That's a hat trick for him, too.
Colton Lloyd, his third of the day. Leading scorer in the game, 4:46 left to go. Here in the fourth, and it's a 7-7 tie.
Yeah, Colton Lloyd is one of those players that just knows how to score. And if he has a mindset, and I think he had the mindset tonight, and he's had it a few other times, but sometimes in the game maybe he's not ready, and he's a little easier to defend, but now he's looking good.
Well, he was an outstanding scorer at Sabino High School. Big face-off here, and it's going to be Sonoma State. That was Kieran Farah. 9-8 advantage for Arizona in face-off wins, if you're wondering.
We should mention that there's 2 bears out there. They should be in California, but for the Bears, but they're both obviously they're brothers, Justin and Jared. They're from Granite Hills. Now that we know where Granite Hill is, or Granite Bay.
Granite Bay is near Sacramento, California. Shot taken by Cruz, no good, but they backed up the shot. Avery, who has 2 goals, 14, back to X.
See, he's out there playing him. Angelo Baker.
Merriman was on him last time.
So you get to a point where you want to stop trying to take the ball away from him.
He's going to take the shot. He went top shelf. That's his third.
Yep. He's a legitimate player, and he's proven it day after day, year after year.
So our fourth lead change following our fourth tie. 8-7 Sonoma State. 3.5 left to go in regulation. Now Arizona's bringing Peter Chase back out for the face-off. The freshman face-off specialist.
He's had a bunch of face-offs during the season. It's not like he...
Kyron Farah.
No, but I mean Chase.
Yeah.
It's not like he just came out of the blue. He's been facing off on and off during the season.
3.5 left to go. 8-7 SSU.
Nope, should be Arizona.
That's
ball.
an Arizona face-off win. 2 of 3 in this quarter. Nice job, Peter Chase. What a lift he has brought, Coach, to this team.
Absolutely. His flow is flowing, and he's doing a great job for the Wildcats. He's making the Lax Cats proud as well.
All right, we're down to 3 minutes.
Comes Shane Cronhart with Colton up top.
Like to see Peyton Boyd get a rip here.
Or is he's in front of the cage right now?
And that close defense there by Jared Bear, who's had a nice game, number 9 for Sonoma. Here's a left-handed shot.
Whoa!
That was a little Pipe City there.
Pipe City.
Oh, too bad for Arizona, who trails by 1. And 2:20 on the clock. Good clear, and now Cameron Cruz. Started the game at defense, now a midfield. And now Angelo looking to dodge. Takes the shot. Oh, he left it high. Boy, he's got velocity behind that one.
Plus, he can shoot from pretty good angles as well. He had a really good opportunity there that he made for himself.
Had good spacing on that defense. He had a big hole.
Yeah.
Let's see who's got Merriman is ghosting him right now. Around the corner, and Wyatt Hill comes up with another save for U of A.
He must have close to 20 saves in this game.
I would say he's definitely around at least the 15 range. Boyd.
Not offside. Oh, he was offsides.
Well, the crowd wants an offside.
He definitely was offsides. That's why they call it timeout.
One of the fans have actually on the field of play here, just out of bounds, and we got a timeout on the field, and I'm surprised they haven't asked him to step back with 1:19. So we got a timeout on the field. Arizona calling timeout, trailing 8-7.
Yeah, they now obviously have to start shutting off adjacent passes and putting some pressure on defensively. This obviously they need the ball back, and they need the ball back, and the only way to do it, they can't let Sonoma State just pass the ball around. They need to, because soon the goalie's going to have to get involved. And Hill would probably love to get involved because he's that gritty kid, you know, played hockey, has that hockey mentality, has that winner's mentality.
What is it like? You know, you talk about Wyatt Hill, and we've seen him several times this season. He's not afraid to get out of that crease and take it as far down the field as the opposing defense will let him. But as a coach, how do you feel about that?
Well, it really depends on the player. If he has those capabilities and the speed and the stick skills to go, it makes it very confusing for the defense. And a lot of times he can find an open guy because a defenseman comes out to pick him up when he comes across the midfield line. So it's not a bad one of the greatest that I remember back to play for Maryland was Jimmy Beardsmore. And that guy could run up and down the field and score as much as he wanted to. And I think he created that image for people to be able to do that. Well, let's see what we can do here with the ball. I'm sorry, we have the ball.
So $1:13 on the clock. Arizona in possession. Crownhart going to work out of South Point Catholic. Now switches to left. Jeff Howard. Can he get on the board? He has yet to score in this game. Howard, 6'3", out of Littleton, Colorado. He pulls the trigger and leaves it wide left of the goal. Good job backing up. Arizona has done a great job there. Howard again. Tried to pass it, got it in, couldn't get it into the pipe. Crownhart couldn't scoop it out of there. Big ground ball, and it's Cameron Cruz.
Got to keep him down there. Got to keep him up and let him out.
What a clear by Cruz. He almost threw it away, but the 6'2", Angelo Lagomarsino came up with it, who's got the hat trick. He's got 3 goals here, and now it's a matter of playing
Okay, now you
keep away.
can see they're doubling the ball. And there's timeout by probably Sonoma.
So that is the final timeout. I believe both teams are without timeouts with 21.6. Does not look very good here for Arizona. They're going to have to force a turnover, get the quick ground ball, but 21 seconds is this isn't basketball. That's not a lot of time.
Unless he was in jeopardy there, it's questionable on the timeout because now Arizona is going to double an inbounds ball, and they're a little more settled. They're not running around at that point. So I couldn't really tell if he was in jeopardy, if he was in trouble back there, and that's why they called the timeout. But sometimes it's not the best thing to do. But it's going to take a lot to take the ball away and get down the other end of the field. It can be done, though. It can be done. So we look forward to that happening.
So let's see if Arizona has a trick play up their sleeve.
You know what? I'm not ready to go home yet. So I'm looking for overtime.
Yes.
You know, that's the way it is. That pizza's not going to be delivered for at least 45 minutes.
Well, if we go to overtime, it's a golden goal. First one who scores wins.
Who's got the ball there? I can't see that.
That's Angelo Lagomarsino will restart it, and it's Casey Merriman on the defense.
See, so that's a bad place for a timeout, but
yeah,
because he can only go in a couple of different directions.
Boy, he got out of it very well.
He's quite capable. He's a really good ball player, and I appreciate the opportunity to see him play here.
Yeah, he scores 3 goals here tonight, and well, he falls down. There's he could have got the shot off with 1 second, but it would have been next to impossible. And the final score is Sonoma State, the Seawolves, winning it 8-7 on the road here in the Old Pueblo over Arizona. Arizona drops to 2-6. The Seawolves improved to 4-6. Their next game will be against Dominican at home. We got San Diego State, a big Southwestern Lacs Conference game coming up high noon on Saturday.
And we've talked about that game on and off during this game, Saturday's game, and I can't express how important the game is and how good it would be to have some more fans out here. I see if we can hit 13,000, it would be great.
All right, we will wrap things up when we return in just a moment. This is Arizona Wildcat Lacrosse on APN. All right, back here at the University of Arizona, the Wildcats drop 8-7 at the hands of the Seawolves of Sonoma State. And, Coach, a good night for Lloyd, 3 points. But, give some credit to this Sonoma State team. They came in here struggling. Lagomarsino, he got the hat trick. He was kind of the difference there in that second half offensively, and they get the win.
Yeah, and we also talked quite a bit about Cameron Cruz, who had an outstanding game. And as we mentioned a couple of times, we anticipated him playing defense, and he showed up on offense. He was clearing the balls. He did a lot of different things, and their defense played very well as well. They were very aggressive on their defense as far as sliding was concerned. and it shows in the scoreboard. Then we didn't get a lot of good shots off, and that was part of the problem tonight. But again, we can't stress how important it is for people to come out on Saturday, high noon.
Yep.
Bring your suntan lotion, bring a bottle of water or a case of water.
Yes.
Bring a hamburger for me, cheeseburger for you.
Cheeseburger,
John, what are you having? A hot dog for John.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
And come on out and have some fun with us. And thank you very much for allowing. By the way, you mentioned that I was going to be here on Saturday. And, you know, I haven't signed that contract yet.
Okay.
And that's the first time I was invited to come on Saturday.
The check's in the mail, as they say. 8-7, our final score here tonight. Sonoma State with the victory. So for John Rice and Justin Maxim and the Hall of Famer Mickey Miles Felton, this is Jeff Lowry saying good night from the Old Pueblo.